Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News with me, James Dunn. On tonight's show, a charity in Hull that supports asylum seekers and refugees say their resources are being stretched as more people are coming to them for help. Also tonight, find out what the Humber Bridge Bill will mean for the local area after it came into force yesterday. Finally, I have Roy Horrobin from the Great Grimsby Ice Factory Trust to talk about the future of the iconic landmark. But first, here's Emma Lingard with the news headlines.
Hello, the headlines today. Humberside's Police and Crime Commissioner seeks a new chief executive. Grimsby Ice Factory gets a celebrity endorsement. And Hull's Scale Lane Bridge wins a major design award. A new chief executive is being sought for the Humberside Police and Crime Commissioner's office on a salary of £80,000. In a bid to reduce costs, the salary advertised is 10% less than the current chief executive's salary. Legally, the post must be appointed to act as a monitoring officer to support and advise the Commissioner. The current post holder, Kevin Sharp, is retiring after 38 years in the policing sector. Grand Designs presenter Kevin MacLeod has pledged his support to save Grimsby Ice Factory. The celebrity is an ambassador for the World Monuments Fund and described the campaign as an opportunity to regenerate an historic building and an asset for the town, adding the building would scrub up beautifully. And if you want to find out more, visit the Great Grimsby Ice Factory Trust website, where you can now take a virtual tour of the building.
I'm really interested just talking to people locally. You know, I was talking to some lads in a curry house only the other night. They all know who Kevin MacLeod is and say, oh, we watch Grand Design's great programme. I was quite surprised how broad his appeal is. So people of my age, I would have expected that. He's a popular guy and he's seen so many buildings and he knows what he's talking about. So he's got that knowledge, he's got that popularity, and he's going to be very good for us.
A 23-year-old man being questioned by police in Louth in relation to the death of Richard Woods has been released on police bail until March the 12th. Mr Woods was found at his home in Spring Terrace. A cause of death has not yet been released. Dong Energy is currently recruiting for its westernmost rough offshore wind farm. The Danish company, who have a base in Grimsby Fish Docks, aim to install 35 wind turbines this year and are currently seeking a team of people to operate and maintain them. Speaking at its launch at the end of last year, Duncan Clark, project director at the company, was optimistic about the future of the projects.
This area generally is a very promising one for offshore wind development. There are a number of different developments currently going through different stages of consenting or investigation, and we also have a pipeline of projects in this area that we're seeking to bring through, and we hope that this project will just be the first and that we'll be able to bring further projects after it, all you know, building on what we have learned, what we've built here, and using those facilities going forward.
A Hull charity that supports asylum seekers and refugees tell us they're seeing an increase in the number of people coming to them for help. Open Doors hold regular drop-in sessions offering advice and support. They also offer a hot meal free of charge and provide a food bank service. 6 months ago, they welcomed around 100 people through their doors, but that figure has now rose to over 250.
It's making a difference in the life of people, and we are so grateful to people, those who are helping us, because without their help we can't do anything. We don't have any sort of regular fundings. We are supported by individuals in our Methodist churches network and other churches, and we are dealing with a massive number of people.
The Humber Bridge Act came into force yesterday. The new legislation amends the constitution of the Humber Bridge Board and now allows them to set and revise tolls, which is good news for motorists.
Primarily, and the thing most people will be interested in, is it sets the tolls at the current level. We were still operating under the old Act, which actually had the tolls allowed to be charged at a much higher level. It's now formalised that the tolls we have at the moment are the maximum we can charge, without increasing them by necessity due to inflation.
And staying with bridges, Hull's Scale Lane Bridge has won its first major international award. It's the first footbridge of its kind in the UK to have won the completed category of the World Architecture News Transport Awards. It beats the likes of King's Cross Station and Malmö Station in Sweden. The bridge was designed by McDowell and Benedetti, and it's the only bridge that people can stay on while it swings. And that's all from me. Until next time, goodbye.
Thanks, Emma. With thousands of Bulgarians and Romanians set to come to Britain as border restrictions are relaxed, immigration is very much on the agenda at the moment. But often those who come from abroad for a better life find themselves in real hardship. Open Door in Hull offers help for often desperate refugees and asylum seekers and are seeing a huge increase in demand. Reporter Erica Barker went to the centre to speak to those in need and the people that help them.
The Open Doors charity in Hull helps destitute asylum seekers, refugees and migrant workers. They not only offer a hot meal free of charge, but they hold regular drop-in sessions offering advice and support, ESOL classes to help people with their language skills. There's even an allotment for people to tend. But this year, EU restrictions have been removed, allowing nationals of Bulgaria and Romania free movement to the UK, and it's thought more people will now choose to make the move. But project worker Bashir Siraj says they are already under pressure.
Throughout the week, we get new people coming to our door and asking for help and support. So that's put a lot of pressure on us as we got very limited resources. It's making a difference in the life of people. And we are so grateful to people, those who are helping us, because without their help, we can't do anything. We don't have any sort of regular fundings. We are supported by individuals in our Methodist churches network and other churches, and we are dealing with a massive number of people.
6 months ago they welcomed around 100 people through their doors, but that figure has now rose to over 250. They also offer essential items to those struggling to put food on the table, but none of this would be possible without volunteers giving their time.
The people who come here very much appreciate. I think that all of us who work here would feel that if we didn't come, it would be a gap in our lives.
And Open Doors seems to be a lifeline for many.
It has really saved my life, you know. It means everything to me. In terms of immigration, my personal needs and my children as well. It's been really, really good, and they have been really helpful. It's been wonderful.
I come here, they help people, and if you have any difficulty, if you explain to them, they can help you.
And whatever people's stance on immigration, it's clear to see that without a charity such as this, many people would be left with few places to turn. Erica Barker, Estuary TV.
The Humber Bridge Bill has taken years to get through Parliament, but yesterday it was finally given royal assent. Business leaders and local authorities worked together to initiate the legislation, which will change the way the bridge is operated. Erica Barker spoke to the bridge master to find out what difference it will make to normal people.
Primarily, and the thing most people will be interested in, is it sets the tolls at the current level. We were still operating under the old Act, which actually had the tolls allowed to be charged at a much higher level. It's now formalised that the tolls we have at the moment are the maximum we can charge. It simplifies things. It makes it much more of a much smaller, more effective board structure with just having 6 members, rather than the 22 previously, which, even though it worked, and worked very effectively actually, surprisingly, it was quite difficult to make sure that we had the full board available to make decisions. The 4 members for the 4 authorities are, of course, the 4 leaders of the authorities, with deputies appointed and changes made as necessary. But it's clear that the region's taking this very importantly, and I think it's clear to everyone that very significant people are taking an interest in this for us.
Now, from one local landmark to another. Here with me today I have Roy Horrobin from the Great Grimsby Ice Factory Trust, I believe.
Yeah.
Hello, Roy. Nice to have you with us here today. So, first of all, tell us a little bit about this building, the Ice Factory.
Well, it was built in 1901. We think it's probably the largest ice factory in the world. which stands to reason, bearing in mind Grimsby was the world's greatest fishing port at the time. It was producing ice for the fishing industry, massive, absolutely massive building. At the time, the equipment in there was state of the art. Then the building, of course, became out of date. It's quite natural. It shut up shop around about 1990 and hasn't been used since then. So I belong to a group that's trying to, and we're having great success in moving things forward to get it opened up and used again.
So first of all, it's been shut for more than 20 years now. What kind of condition is it in at the moment?
It's a mixture. If you look from the outside, there's no mistaking that the roof is in a mess. And if you look inside as well, there's mess all over the place. But if you've got the vision to strip that back and visualise it with a roof on and cleaned out, structurally the building is still sound, remarkably. And what heritage experts from around the country and outside now are fascinated by is the quantity and quality of equipment that's in there.
What kind of things have we got in there then?
Well, there's these massive compressors, which, again, anybody who's got any interest at all in machinery will immediately connect with. But it's a very interesting shaped building. I love the fact that a railway track used to go through the centre of it. And that gives it a curious shape. Blocks buildings typically aren't appealing, are they? And inside you've got all sorts of details, such as fantastic spiral staircases, you've got the equipment that was used, and you can see the whole process.
But at the moment it is shut off, the public can't actually enter.
Yes, and that's, I think, one of the big problems. It's almost, I know myself, for years before I got involved, I sort of passed the building in my car, on my bike, walking, and didn't really think anything about it. Yeah, I think that's the big problem.
So I suppose people don't really know what a fantastic, iconic building is there necessarily.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Now, I think it's probably fair to say that it's not going to be an ice factory again because it's not really needed. What could it be in the future?
In the future, all of that, some time ago now, we did an options appraisal, and so we've got a list of things which I'm now going to try and remember. It's got to be a mixture of things. The building has to pay for itself, and we've worked on that basis all the way through.
So what could we see in there? What have you suggested?
We've got a microbrewery who are very interested, who would like to be involved. That would be profit making. A successful restaurateur who would like to be involved, that would be profit making. Also, there'd be an art gallery, which would possibly not be profit making, but would have an indirect influence on the surrounding area by bringing people in. And the list goes on. So we're all the space. Another thing that I find particularly exciting is climbing wall. We did the market research. The nearest climbing wall, I think, is Hull. So there is a market for it, there's demand for it, and the building, because of its height, is perfect for that type of feature.
And you've attracted a huge amount of support so far for this campaign. I mean, tell us a little bit about Kevin MacLeod and how that happened.
Oh, well, that's pretty much hot off the press. That's only within the last few weeks. I think I only heard about it just before Christmas. Kevin, as yet, I think he may even be within the next few days. He's coming up. That's not going to be publicised. He's going to come up and go around the building, be taken around.
Quite low key, will it?
Yeah, very low key. So low key, I can't even tell you when it is. But then after that, he is signed up. If you go onto our webpage, he's there right at the top. He's publicly committed to the building, which is fantastic. And it's just a question of how that evolved and how that evolves and how that publicity is used.
And just quickly, I mean, this project is going to require some funding, but you have got bids in at the moment, haven't you?
Yeah, 11 million, which is non-local money. So it's central money, Heritage Lottery Fund money that we bid for. If we get that, then it's full steam ahead, because that will be the assets that will unlock the building.
Thanks, Roy. Stay in touch and let us know of any developments. Now, don't forget, if you know of any local stories or issues, you can get in touch by phone on Grimsby 315561, on Facebook or Twitter at Estuary TV, or email us on news@estuary.tv. That's all from us tonight. We'll see you next time.